Hey everybody, welcome back to Black Lotus, where we talk about all things strange and unusual. Thanks a lot for watching, by the way. Don't forget to subscribe to us, please. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about a few cryptid sightings updates, and we're going to be talking about Bigfoot and the Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, as well as the Michigan Dogman. But first, before we get into that, I want to remind everybody that we have a group over at Facebook, and it's called the Black Lotus Discussion Group, and I will drop this link down in the description. If you're into the topics that we talk about, and I'm assuming that you are, if you're here watching this, then definitely check out our group over there. It's a lot of great people there. We have experts in the paranormal, as well as ufologists, as well as experts on cryptids. So yeah, definitely check it out. Anyway, so today, let's start off maybe talking about Bigfoot. I saw a recent case that happened back in August, and it was reported by Madeline Durand and her boyfriend, Brad Ginn, I guess it is. And anyway, what happened is that they were out camping, and they were in their tent, and it was like around 11 o'clock in the evening, and suddenly they saw a flashlight come up to their tent. And so naturally they're like, what the hell's going on? And so they get out and they see a guy with his young son. And the guy shows him he's got a sidearm on him. He's got a pistol. And he tells the couple that this area is known for Bigfoot sightings, and he thought he saw something out here. Well, so the couple decided, okay, well, you do what you need to do, just don't bother us, And so they go back into the tent, and the next thing they know, the guy is firing the gun.
Oh.
And screaming, "There it is, there it is!" And and the girlfriend apparently is the one who reported this, and she reported it to the park rangers, because you're not allowed to discharge a firearm
Right.
in a national park.
Right.
And yeah, and she said, what I was worried about is that it came so close to the tent, and so she didn't really see the Bigfoot or anything. The other guy claimed he saw it, but what he saw in pitch black darkness, could have been anything.
Right.
It could have been a person. So yeah, I mean. So anyway, folks, if you're out Bigfoot hunting, have a little common sense, please. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right. Firing off into the dark is not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, in fact, what she said is that what did she say? She said, we saw a flash of light from his gun. He shot maybe 20 yards from the side of our tent into pitch black darkness. So, I mean, right. I mean, also, all you're seeing is the forest light up for a split second when the gun goes off. I mean, just some people are just ridiculously stupid, But anyway, so what do you got on it?
Well, there was a 51-year-old man in Georgia. He saw a 7 to 8 foot two-legged hairy creature with a pointy head. I thought that was interesting that it had a pointy head was one of his descriptions of it.
So do you think what he meant was like the elongated forehead?
That's what I'm thinking. Almost like Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah,
he
almost
had a pointed head. He had a very big forehead.
Interesting.
But I guess it was about 8:30 along the state highway in Cherry Log. And what I thought was funny is he was sitting there telling him, the reporter, that his wife won't believe him. That even his wife, I guess he was married 23 years, and his wife won't believe him that he saw this Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But he said it was standing upright like a human would. So it definitely wasn't a bear, and it took like 5 big steps, and poof, it was gone into the woods. But what's interesting is that's not the only case. I guess in that area of Georgia, there's been a lot of them, and 2 of them within the same month, right in that same little area.
Really?
So I guess it really is a hot spot.
Yeah. What do they find for prints or anything like that,
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, in that other situation I was talking about, I guess the following morning, even though the guy was an idiot and shot off the gun in pitch black darkness, they did find some prints there the next day where they found it. Yeah. So, but again, I mean, it was just a stupid thing to do, and why would you shoot the thing anyway? Unless it's being aggressive toward you.
Well, got to get proof. That's what I'm sure people think.
You know,
That's right.
Sasquatch is protected in California,
Right.
And I want to say
There's a couple of states.
Yeah, like Washington and Oregon maybe, but yeah.
What's funny, in North Carolina, there's been a lot of recent sightings, but they have a statue up of a Bigfoot, and people are seeing this statue and calling the cops and reporting that they see a Bigfoot.
Classic. But anyway, what else you got? Anything else on?
No, there was a few things, but it's always the same thing. We saw something dart through the woods.
Yeah, it always is that, I mean, and you can look into like what is it called, BFRO, that organization, and you can find updated sightings on Bigfoot pretty often. But what you don't find a whole lot is a whole lot of recent sightings on Dogman.
No. But really quick on that, the BFRO, it's BFRO.net. It's the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization.
It's probably one of the better
Yeah.
Organizations out there.
And it's a very interesting site because you can click on things and find out information about the sightings and stuff that are in your area.
Yeah. Speaking of Bigfoot, I'm starting to look like one. I need to shave. just caught myself in that reflection. But anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, Dogman. You were telling me about an incident that I thought was pretty interesting, and that was the one where was it a couple that saw a UFO?
No, the guy and his dog. It was in
Dog.
Wyoming. Yeah, he was driving down the highway on the way home from work after picking up his dog, and he sees 5 lights in the sky.
Okay.
And they're zigzagging all over the place and making, doing stuff that UFOs do that, we know they're UFOs because our planes can't do those maneuvers. So he puts the dog in the car. The dog was getting really anxious and stuff, so he let him out to see if, he needed to go to the bathroom and stuff. Dog went back into the car, and he watched the lights take off and vanish. So he thinks, okay, that's it. That maybe the dog was being startled by the sounds or the lights in the sky. But no, he gets into the car, and the dog is still shivering and shaking with fear, like it's terrified. So he starts taking off, and out of the rearview mirror, he sees a wolf type creature. It had red fur and a tail, but it had a human face.
Really?
And he said he could see it in the taillights of his car as he was taking off, the thing chasing him.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. A UFO and Dogman sighting at the same time.
Hell of a night. Jeez. Something to tell your therapist about, But, I'm not entirely sold on the Dogman. Not as much as I am on Bigfoot. And even then, what could it possibly be? And all the reportings of this thing, they're all pretty similar. It looks like a large dog, upright on its own 2 feet, and that, and now this one having a human face. Now that's a little different,
right?
But because the other reportings are more like a werewolf kind of thing, But I don't know if I'm sold on that very much, but I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I'm not sure if I believe it yet. Yet being the key word, But
there was another one in Arkansas, and up in North Arkansas, and it was a 53-year-old man. He was heading home from work about 4:15, and he came across, like you said, a wolf-looking creature, and it was carrying something in his hand, like a piece of rope or a leash or something. And he said it was 7 feet tall. Carrying his own leash, right?
Nice.
7 feet tall, weighed about 300 pounds, and it was standing on its own 2 feet on the left side of the road as he drove by. Now, these, like you said, all have the same type of description, and it's definitely not a wolf. Wolves don't stand on their hind legs.
So I mean, I don't know what it could be. I mean, I'm not even opposed to the idea of a lycanthrope. A wolf man kind of thing, So, I don't know. I think it could certainly exist, but I'm not sure. But anyway, let's get out of the woods. Oh, speaking of the Michigan Dogman. They call it the Michigan Dogman because that's where the original sightings came from.
Right.
But really, if you look into this, there are sightings all over the U.S. and even into Canada, and I've even heard some sightings out in like Britain,
West Virginia, Colorado, Arkansas.
Yeah,
everywhere.
They're really all over the place. So it makes me wonder if it is a breed of animal, kind of like Sasquatch, that is just reproducing so much, and normally they're able to hide out in the woods, But anyway, like I said, let's get out of the woods and let's jump into the water in Scotland, and let's talk about Nessie. So there have been over 1,000 sightings over the years of this thing.
Right.
And they can't all be delusions and hoaxes, in my opinion.
Well, I saw that in 2018 they broke the record of sightings in 1 year, and weren't you saying that last year?
And then this year they broke it again. There were like 16 sightings this year so far, And that's after these New Zealand researchers went and they did I want to say it was like a year-long study. Yeah. And they took 250 DNA samples from various parts of the loch, and they came up with they just recently made the announcement that they ruled out the presence of any kind of large animal, and they said there's no evidence of prehistoric marine reptiles such as like the plesiosaur, or even large fish like a sturgeon or something like that. They also ruled out catfish, and another theory is that wandering Greenland sharks have made their way into the loch. And the thing is that a lot of people wanted to use that about the Greenland sharks to explain the humps that they've photographed, because they're and so because it would just look like a big hump in the water, and taken from a distance it could possibly be the Greenland shark, but they said they didn't even find that DNA in there. Now one thing that they did say is that it could possibly be a giant eel.
Right. But we were talking about this before, and you were saying that the biggest eel that they know of is usually about 4 feet?
About 4.5 feet, and so that doesn't explain the sightings of these large things in this water,
right.
So, yeah, let me folks, I'm sorry, podcast listeners, but I'm going to show a video here. And it's one of the most recent sightings of Nessie, and I found it to be pretty compelling because, like I said, the European conger is the largest eel in the world, and it's only 4.5 feet long. This thing is quite easily 15 to 20 feet long.
Right, it's huge.
So if it is an eel, it's an eel that we've yet to discover.
What I found interesting about this too is how it just appears and like it's gone under the water and then comes back up.
And it comes right back up.
And then it goes over to the other, and goes in the opposite direction. And you can see as it's moving back and forth, you can see the wake behind it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's definitely making waves.
Yeah, and it's more than just a wake. Because the wake is long too, but the actual creature, whatever it is that's being filmed here, is pretty long. From comparison from the video that we're watching, it's from the banks of the loch, and the distance is the size is compared by the trees that are in front of the lake.
Well, yeah, and you can tell it's out in the distance, and for us to be able to see it with this far of a distance, it has to be pretty huge of a thing.
I would imagine so, yeah. And but yeah, so that kind of kills the theory that it's a giant eel, and again, unless it's an eel that we're not aware of. And and the loch is so dark and murky that this thing could exist in there and we just wouldn't know about it, But I've never been one to believe much in the Loch Ness Monster. That's not to say that I don't believe in other lake monstrosities out there. But the Loch Ness Monster, there's been so many hoaxes about it. You know,
Right.
I mean, and a lot of the video footage that I've seen of the thing or photographs, I mean, it can easily be discounted as just a log or something, or just, you know, something floating.
Right. There's a lot of videos out there that just don't
Oh, right.
seem legit.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it exists or not. However, if it does exist, I'm siding with the scientists that claim that it's a large eel, and if it is a large eel, again, it's the largest eel in the world. I mean, it's got to be huge because, like I said, that video that we just watched, I mean, it was, you know,
Easily 15 feet, like you
easily
said.
15, 20 feet long, you know, and then the wake behind it, it made it look even bigger. But,
Right.
I mean, even still, but anyway, what else you got? Anything?
Well, there was one monster skeptic named Richard Cobb. He was from Bradford, and he was staying at the Holiday Lodge out there in Loch Ness. And about 9:30 p.m., he saw something break the water. Now, he said he's been going to the Loch Ness since 1992, and he knows what a boat looks like. He knows what things look like in the water.
Sure.
So this was no boat. This was nothing weird or nothing normal. It was definitely something strange he'd never seen before. He said the water was dead calm, except for where he was seeing whatever this was moving in the water. Now, he said he couldn't make out any noise or anything, but he said it's not a dinosaur or anything like that, but there's definitely something there. He said, and this is a skeptic. He said he never believed in it.
Yeah.
Because he'd been going for so long and never seen anything.
That's why I am. I mean, that's why I've always kind of discounted the whole Loch Ness Monster thing, because I don't really believe that dinosaurs have been able to live this long. You know, like the plesiosaur. I don't buy that. But like I said, I can buy the eel explanation.
Right.
But
But even the eel would have to be, like you said, a giant eel that we don't know about.
right. And in other lakes around the world, you know, I mean, they have, you know, reports. And I think that an eel could possibly explain that, or like a giant sturgeon or something like that. Most definitely.
Well, I think the
'cause
problem
sturgeons
is,
get big. You know.
yeah, they do get big, but I think a lot of the problem is too is people are so stuck on what is the most famous photo of Nessie that's
Yeah.
actually a fake.
It's actually fake, yeah. And,
Right, the
yeah.
guys admitted to doing it
Right.
and faking it with the toy submarine.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people are out there looking for that, but we should be be a little more open-minded, looking at other shapes.
Well, yeah, and I think that taking into account that, like I said, there's been over 1,000 sightings over the years. You know, I mean, since way back when.
Right.
You know, I mean, and take those sightings into account. Don't blow them off as legends. You know, I mean, I think it's entirely possible that these people did see something.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
But, and what it is, who knows? Who knows? I mean, even way back then, the DNA wouldn't have lasted this long in the loch. You know, I mean, so it could have been a Greenland shark in some of the sightings. You know, it could have been. You know, it doesn't mean it hung out there very much. It probably made its way out
Back to the sea.
You know, so yeah. Anyway. But anyway, folks, thanks a lot for watching. And like I said, if you like our stuff, don't forget to like and subscribe to us. It's very important to us that you do that. And we love to see the thumbs up. So please click on that. When you do subscribe, make sure you're hitting that little bell. And that way you get notifications every time we do upload a new episode. So anyway, until next time, folks, keep thinking and question everything.